Okay, just a quick thing I wanted to get into before the real video starts. Yesterday was my birthday, and a close friend of mine was kind enough to gift me this, a ghost rare power tool dragon. Looks absolutely sick, the foiling on this guy, and in general I feel like the camera can only do its best to capture it. But really, really, really big thank you for this gift. And I will leave you guys with that, and let's get into the video.
Hello and welcome everyone, it's me, TheLaval, also known as the Power Tool Dualist, back for you with another video, and with that short clip of my birthday present out of the way, let's get into something different. And something different indeed, because today we are taking a look at Celtic Guardian Control. This is my version of a list I saw a few days on Reddit that actually got second place in a 30-person tournament in the OCG. So of course, different metagame, different that. So this probably will not do as well in the TCG as it would in the OCG. But anyways, this still looked very interesting and very cool. So I decided to build and playtest with it a bit and showcase this to you guys because I wanted to make a video about it. Starting off, the main deck, of course, basically, is the man himself, Celtic Guardian, an elf who learned to wield a sword. He baffles enemies with lightning swift attacks as his flavor text. Iconic monster from the original series that Yugi used in many of his duels. Um, just a 1400, 1200 vanilla warrior, level 4. So he's alright. He sets the basis for the deck, I guess. Um, something really new from the Dark Side of Dimensions movie pack, Celtic Guard of Noble Arms. This guy is really cool. First of all, he's a 2100 level 4, so he does pack quite a punch, but he cannot attack while you have cards in your hand. And once per turn, you can special summon one Celtic Guard monster from your hand, which of course includes not only the original Celtic Guardian, but also Obnoxious Celtic Guard and himself. And when he is attacking and he inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can draw cards equal to the number of Celtic Guard monsters you control. So right off the bat, if he deals damage, you draw a card. If you control the other Celtic Guard you summon through his effect, you draw two cards, which is actually really neat. And if you get the game to slow down a bit and you start swinging over smaller monsters with him, because he is 2100 after all, um, he can get you a neat bit of advantage. So yeah, he definitely is really cool. Then we have something a bit older, Obnoxious Celtic Guard. Cannot be destroyed by battle with a monster that has 1900 or more attack. Neat effect. You can sometimes definitely get away with setting him or equipping him with the Supreme Magic Blade I run. Um, and I think that was even in the original list. But yeah, he's just Celtic Guardian, but better. Or let's say different, because Celtic Guardian is a vanilla and that has its advantages in its own right. Then, of course, we play one reinforcement of the arm. Why wouldn't we? It searches our best cards in the form of Celtic Guardian in 2020. 3 Pot of Desires, you really want to go through your deck, draw cards. You can also maybe play Pot of Extravagance in this case. But I just went for the Desires, even though during testing I've gotten quite unlucky with it, but drawing 2 cards definitely helps the deck out a lot. Then we have 2 Heritage of the Chalice, which lets you add a Noble Knight or a Noble Arms card from your deck to your graveyard to your hand. Rest effect is Noble Knights related, but main thing you want to run this for is a fetch Celtic Guard of Noble Arms, which is essentially something that gives you the possibility to run double the amount of copies. 1 card of Demise, draw until you have 3 cards in hand, and for the rest of the turn, after this card resolve, opponent takes no damage. During the end phase of this turn, send your entire hand to the graveyard. Can only activate 1 card Atomize during the once per turn, and you cannot special summon during the turn you activate card Atomize. Basically, the 1 card that keeps each control / stun deck going. It's at 1 here in the TCG. In the OCG it's at 2, so it definitely helps the deck out more over there. But still a worthwhile inclusion, I think. So yeah, next up we have 3 Part of Duality. Excavate the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 of them to your hand, shuffle the rest back, and you can special summon during that turn. Great card, lets you further get into your deck and grab out important traps or just your Celtic Guard monsters. Then we have something new, and something I think is really cool. Super Magic Sword of Raptinus, or Raptinus Supreme Magic Blade. At the start of the battle phase, you can change the equipped monster's battle position. If you do immediately after this effect resolves, you can normal summon a monster. You can only use that effect once per turn. And also you apply the effect depending on the equipped monster's battle position. Attack position, opponent cannot target the equipped monster with card effects, and in defense position, the equipped monster cannot be destroyed by battle. Which is an absolutely amazing effect on a great card. This definitely has some potential. I really think the card is definitely very cool and all that. But yeah, it gives your Celtic Guardians a neat amount of protection, gives you extra board presence with the added normal summon. So yeah, that is cool. And then I play 3 Waking the Dragon, which explains probably the first 6 extra deck slots here. Just something that's kinda hilarious to pull off, and I like it for that. So yeah. Rest of the trap lineup in general I feel like is very much up to preference. This is I feel like more control heavy build because I run more counter traps or just generic blowout traps. But you can definitely take this into a more stun heavy route. I run 3 bottomless trap hole, 3 mirror force, 3 compulsory evacuation device, 3 solemn strike, and 3 solemn judgment. You can definitely put some floodgates in there, but I'll go over that as you can see when I talk about the options you have. Then, as mentioned, Waking the Dragon targets in this deck a Dragon Maid show alongside 3 House Dragon Maids, just to get that negate and get out House Dragon Maids. 1 Interior Exterior and then just 1 Starter Strength, but Waking the Dragon targets could be anything you want. Warrior from a Lost Dimension, I think, comes to mind. Exterior, of course, is one of the better targets. You can also just slap a Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon on the field if you want to be that guy. Then just the Lightning and Utopia. You could probably also go for Utopia double in this deck, but with Desires, I think running the 1 double honor thing is a bit risky. But yeah, this is basically the point where you just include generic rank 4s. I think the original list also had a few of those. Links exist. Mrs. Radiant, Link Spider, I think there were Proxy Dragon, Boris Sword, and a Nightmare package in the original list, included with Scapegoat, but that card is at 2 in the OCG, so yeah. Extra deck really is up to preference. You can definitely run generic link monsters you feel like you want to make for situations with the deck, and then just some rank 4 good stuff. So yeah. Talking about options you have with this deck, original list ran Barrier Statue of the Drought. No monsters can be special summoned except Earth monsters, which of course all your Celtic Guardians are Earths, and sticking a Celtic Guardian and the Barrier Statue of course will net you a good amount of shuffle and go to game 2s. So yeah, it's amazing for that. Then the Scapegoats, as mentioned, Link Fodder allows you to stall in some cases, flexible card in that regard. OCG has this at 2, so if you want that one off, go for it. Unexpected Die. I didn't test this. I did not really experiment with this, but just the possibility of getting a Celtic Guardian out of the deck and essentially increasing your amount of copies of him by 3 is definitely cool and a neat thing. Trap trick, just maybe grabbing Compulse, Bottomless, Mirror Force, or Waking the Dragon if you run that. But yeah, it's just here for the option. You can definitely just cut a playset of, I don't know, cut the Waking the Dragon or the Mirror Force and play 3 Trap Trick. You can of course play any Mirror Force. I just run the vanilla one because it's obviously the best. And that was sarcasm, by the way. Then we have the just myriad of generic floodgates you can play. You can play Ghost Match. All your main deck monsters are Earth, so locking your opponent into one attribute helps you against a few decks. Imperial Order, just getting those spells out of the way. Rivalry of the Warlords, maybe something else you can consider. I would consider Skill Drain in this, but for Skill Drain to be really applicable in this deck, this guy would have a much worse effect, because the draw power you can get off him is really neat, and in general the swarming he enables is also appreciated. So yeah, those were probably a few minutes of rambling about Celtic Guardian control. I will see you guys when I get into the profiles, and I will see you then. So here we are in the replay section, going into the first replay. Starting hand not looking too shabby, seeing basically Strike, Compass and Awakening the Dragon alongside one of your monsters with the Raptorness is really neat and probably one of your better first turn boards. Drawing here into the Celtic Guard of Noble Arms, of course, amazing, because this guy is the one you want to see the most. And you saw that draw too, and that is the thing I mentioned. He really enables a amazing amount of draw power. And are you ready for a draw 4? Oof. So really quick, game 1 here, just being able to easily use disruptions in the form of the Compass and the, I think it was a Solemn Strike to keep him from playing. But yeah, that draw 4 off of Celtic Guard of Noble Arms felt so good. I can't even begin to tell you guys. Starting off here with the Duality, grabbing a Demise, activating Demise after setting 4, normal summoning Noble Arms, and setting another Solemn Strike. Striking the Boot Staggered activation here in hand. Balancer Lord will trigger and get out a Clinsect, which will... the Balancer Lord will get returned to his hand here. Setting the Bottomless, swinging over the Clinsect for a draw 1 into another Bottomless, having 3 Bottomless Trap Holes now set, which basically means I can just Bottomless anything he puts on the board, because I will still have 1 left. Normal summoning the Celtic Guardian here, swinging with Celtic Guard of Noble Arms for the draw 2. Celtic Guardian main phase 2, resolve Heritage of the Chalice, grabbing another Celtic Guard of Noble Arms, which I will special summon with the effect of the one I have on board. Activating a Raptorness Supreme Magic Blade on my Celtic Guard of Noble Arms and passing the turn he bricks. I get another Magic Blade into my hand. Realize I can't attack with my Celtic Guard of Noble Arms, so I will have to delay the taking of game by 1 turn, and now I have to compulse my own monster so I can set the Solemn Strike so I can finally take the game. Something you definitely have to keep in mind with Celtic Guard of Noble Arms, that you do not want your hand as clogged up as I let it become that game. Having 1 card in hand already enables probably your best monster not to attack and give you the advantage that you need. As you saw in that game 1, a draw 4 is really nice, and there are very few cards that can do this. And just even a draw 2 of summoning him, getting another Celtic Guardian on board, and swinging over something small that's left on your opponent's field. Even a draw 2 is really nice if you think what people are trying to go through to get that. in the form of Pot of Extravagance, Pot of Desires, banishing 10 cards from the top of the deck face down, or 6 cards face down from their extra deck, just to get a draw 2, which really showcases how powerful that effect is in this game. And just having that really accessible, or rather easily achievable in this deck, is really neat, and makes this deck, I think, a really fun option that you can definitely have a lot of fun with if you are wanting to pick this up. But yeah, this will be it from me. I will thank you guys very much for watching, and I hope I will see you next time. Next Tuesday, probably Mothtronics Monthly, talking a bit about Maximum Gold. And just in general things I have on my mind, and a few things I have been testing around with that will be coming in the next month. But yeah, as mentioned, I will thank you guys very much for watching, and I will hopefully see you soon. But until then, goodbye.